Well, we've just wrapped up our second HOH reign of the Celebrity Big Brother 3 season. And this one, I think that Chris Kirkpatrick is going to regret this week as the game progresses. This was a little bit of a head scratcher for me because I really felt like Chris needed to pick a side, and instead he tried to float through the middle while thinking that he was better than everybody else. And that to me is not the recipe for long-term success in this game. If he really wanted to just float by this week, I think that he should have just nominated Chris Kattan and Todd Bridges, and one of those two goes home and he just happily floats in the middle. But instead, he had to target Mariah, who he knew two people that he was working with were working with her. So now, moving forward, Misha and Todrick can't trust Chris Kirkpatrick. Like, they just can't. You like, sure, you want to work with him, you want to deal with him, but you can't trust him. So it automatically forces Chris Kirkpatrick towards Carson and Cynthia, which I don't know if he fully wants to do. I think he wants to just float in the middle, and if that's what his goal was, this HOH was a failure. So Mariah ends up going home tonight with a unanimous vote, which was shocking after Chris Kattan's speech. Chris Kattan's speech was just, hey, thanks everybody. This game's not for me. I'd like to go home now. And then for that to be followed up with a unanimous vote the other way, I think we're going to have a grumpy Chris Kattan in the house. He's not, I don't think, going to want to win. Like, they were at the end of the episode, people seemed like they were trying to pump him up to try to win the HOH. No, this is a guy who just said he wanted to go home. It's not a guy who's like, oh, I'm going to work so hard to stay here longer now. No, he's going to work even harder to go home now. I've been loving Chris Kattan, but if that's how he's feeling, send him home. Send him home. It's so early in the game that Mariah going home right now doesn't determine who wins or loses. Like, the things that are going to have lasting impact from this week is what happened with your relationships because Mariah was on the block, not whether she went home or not. I wouldn't have even been surprised if Mariah stayed one HOH and didn't put Chris Kirkpatrick on the block. That would not have surprised me one little bit, because she's a competitor, and if Carson and Cynthia are her competition, you can be damn sure that that's who she's going to put up. I feel bad for Mariah. 2 weeks on the block twice, potentially the target both weeks. Very weird, because like, she seemed like someone, like, as somebody watching, she seemed like somebody I wanted to get to know more, whereas the celebrities in the house, they seemed like they wanted to get to know her less. Very disappointing, but somebody's got to go home at the end of each HOH reign, and this time it was Mariah's turn, even though somebody else asked you to send them home. The POV, what was going on with Chris Kirkpatrick? Like, some of those pictures were hard, but I mean, even with that, you got a 1 in 3 chance of just guessing right. And he just can't get anything. Like, you'd think just by dumb luck, he's going to get like 2 or 3 points. I think he did get 1 point at the end, but definitely too little too late. Ends up coming down to a tiebreaker between Todrick and Shayna. I hate the Price is Right rules for these guessing games, because Todrick made an amazing guess, Shayna made a horrible guess, and Todrick loses. And if Todrick had won that POV, would have you used it? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But, at least would have given Mariah a fighting chance. Wouldn't have been surprised if Todrick won, used it on Mariah, and Misha went up in her stead. But that is something we will never know. So far, enjoying this season. Outside of Chris Kattan, I'd say I'm not loving the celebs as much as past seasons. Like Omarosa season 1 was somebody who I didn't care about at all going into the season, but very much enjoyed watching when she was on the season. On the season, other celebrities like Ross Matthews, absolutely adored him, but I just feel like I'm lacking that a little bit this season. Maybe that will change as we get in deeper. I really hope so. But with how fast the game's going and everything being game, we're really missing out on a lot of those moments to really get to see the celebrities. Like if you're not on the live feeds, like you're missing out. Like we got one great moment from Lamar tonight. A great moment from Chris Kattan, and then it was just games. So yeah, I would like to see a little bit more of the moments, the relationships, the strategy, and a little bit less game. But that's it for recap for Eviction number 2. I think I'll be back again on Friday for Eviction 3. So until then, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, we'll see you later.